All right. Looks like it's working tonight. The YouTube gods have shone their light on me. Every other week, it's a flip of the coin to see if it's going to work. But this week it worked. Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 46 of Gear Talk. Gear Talk is the show that I do every other week where I talk about the geekier side of rollerblading. Lots of wheels, lots of bearings, lots of cuff bolts, lots of 45-degree straps. If you know the difference between a hex key and a Torx key, this show is for you. We do this live on YouTube every other Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. If you are in the live chat, thank you for joining. If you have a question, I encourage questions. I love your questions. But I have a hard time seeing your questions in the chat. So please make sure that you tag Back to Blading in the chat if you have a question or if you have a comment that you need me to see. It will get highlighted and I'll be able to see it. If you are watching this after or if you're listening to it on a podcast, please feel free to leave a comment on the YouTube video. I will make sure that the video is up. I read all of the comments that are posted, even the dumb ones, and I always respond to comments that have questions. So please leave me a comment. I would love to hear from you. If you have a question, if you have a correction, I definitely love those. I tend to talk a lot, and sometimes I say things that aren't absolutely true. I know a lot about rollerblading, but I don't know everything. So if you have some knowledge that you can send my way, I would love to hear it. YouTube.com/backtoblading or listen on the podcast, backtoblading.com/podcast. Thanks so much for joining, and let's get started. So the way that I start every show, I always talk about my current setups. I talk about my aggressive setup, and I talk about my big wheel setup. So this week, I'm going to start talking about my big wheel setup. So for the first time, actually, I have skated my Powerslide Zoom with my 90 millimeter frames. So here they are. So these are the Powerslide Zoom. They are the USD Sway boot, which is the Playlife Bronx boot. It is a hard shell boot. It has one of these, I don't know what these are called. Anybody know what these are called? Little side boot slider dingle things. I don't know what they're called. Boot protector. I think the boot protector goes up here. I don't know what this side thing is, but they have this little side thing. That's how you know it's a fitness skate or a free skate versus an aggressive skate. Aggressive skates wouldn't have this. Only exception, trivia time, anybody in the chat? Only exception, aggressive skate that has one of these. The CJ from Seba is the only one that I know of. If you have another one, let me know. But the Seba CJ is the only aggressive skate that I know of that has this little thing on the side. Anyway, great skate. So these Powerslide Zoom the ones that I bought come 4x80. So there's a 4x80 millimeter wheels. They are hard shell boot, a really great MyFit liner. They are fully laced. They have a ratchet buckle for the 45-degree strap, plastic buckle for the top, really nice flexible cuff, Trinity mount with an adapter. So it's not a full Trinity system, but it's not a UFS system with a UFS boot or a 165 mount. It is a Trinity mount. So these are Trinity frames. And this whole thing landed is like around $180. Anytime you can get in, $200 is this magical window. If you look at skateboarding or scootering, right, they probably have like $100, right? I mean, I'm sure you could get cheap, just like you could get cheap rollerblades. But like $100 is kind of where that upper, like as soon as you spend more than $100 on a skateboard, you know you're serious about it, right? I don't know how much decks and wheels and trucks and everything are. I might be completely wrong. It might be more like $150. $200 is kind of the entry level for good rollerblades in my eyes. I've tried a lot of skates that are less than $200, and they make huge sacrifices. These skates are probably one of the best free skates that I've found for $180. I absolutely love them. I think that the liner is great. They've got a built-in shock absorber. It's everything that you want in a free skate, and it's less than $200. The only thing that I didn't like about the Powerslide Zoom, as it comes, is that I felt like the frame was a little short for me. I actually have the frames that came with it. Give me a sec. So these are the frames that came with them. These are the Powerslide Zoom stock frames. These have a 4x80 frame, 243 wheelbase. They come with 80 millimeter wheels. These are Powerslide Hurricane wheels. They're 80 by 86. And they were all right. I mean, I can already see some pretty gnarly wear that I put in. And I only skated these, I don't know, maybe an hour around my little office park. Granted, you know, you're not expecting much from stock wheels. I've got those old Blade Runner skates that couldn't last an hour. So these definitely have a lot more life in them. The bearings are amazing. For stock, $180, you really can't beat that Powerslide Zoom. However, I wasn't a huge fan of the wheelbase. It was just too short. Like if you compare the 4x80 with the 4x90, you've got 30 mil difference. That's a huge gap. So these are, it's exactly 30 actually. This is 275, and these are 243. So you've got 32 mil difference between the 80s and the 90s. That's a huge difference when you have a bigger foot. If you have a smaller foot and you want to do like slalom or something like that, this is probably a perfect frame for you. 80 millimeters is great. 243 is like the standard for most 80 millimeter frames. But if you have a bigger foot like I do, you know, size 10.5, 44, you're going to want to upgrade to these 90s. Now, I got these 90s frames off of the Powerslide Fusion. What the hell are they called? They're these skates. Powerslide Fusion Radon something or other. It had like 4 names. These were all right. These were $150. They are a soft upper boot, hard shell with Trinity mount. Does have a 45-degree strap, did have a plastic buckle, did lace up. It didn't have a very comfortable fit though for me. I think it was fine if you're on a budget, but if you want a really quality like free skate, I don't know that I'm a big fan of this built-in liner thing. I think having a removable liner is kind of important. I love the idea of having this soft shell, just like the Adapt. You know, if you had a soft shell but it had a removable liner, I think you'd have something. But these are not an Adapt. They're not as comfortable as Adapt. They've got weird pressure points. I felt like the insole, I moved around a little bit too much. I started getting like a blister feeling in my toe. And that's not a good feeling. Granted, I did skate these for a few miles. This was the first day of our quarantine, and I was able to go out on the built highway, the highway that was being built, usually under construction, but nobody was around. So I was able to just skate and skate and skate and skate and skate. Had a great time on the skates, but afterwards my feet hurt. My feet have never hurt on these Powerslide Zooms. So I recommend the Zoom over the Fusion. I think spending an extra $30 makes sense, especially if you can find a 4x90 frame. So these came with 4x90. That was the real reason why I wanted to get these, but obviously I love reviewing skates, and anything that Powerslide makes for $150, excuse me, I had to try it. I loved the frames. I loved the wheels. I thought they were quality for what you pay for it, but I don't know that this boot is right for me. But the frames, what a difference this Zoom with these frames makes. So 4x90 is just an amazing ride. I'd never skated 4x90 before. I've skated 4x100, I've skated 3x100, I've skated 3x110, 3x125, 4x80. I've never skated 84s. Skated 72s. I've never skated 84s. And I never skated 90s. Loved the 90s. These were such a great ride. It was just a really fast feeling. It had the coast that I like from the 100s, but it had the acceleration that I like from the 80s. It really was the best of both worlds, and the huge benefit was the wheelbase was perfect for me. This 270, 275 is really great for a 44 foot. I think it would be great for a 43. I think you get a little lower and it starts to be a little long. I think that's where those 84 frames used to come in, where they'd be like a 260 or a 255 or something like that with an 84 millimeter frame or 84 millimeter wheel. That's probably what most people need. If you're going to be 44 or up, though, this is a really great frame for that. Yeah, so absolutely love them. If you ever have an opportunity to skate 4x90, do it. I think it is a life-changing setup. I don't know that I'm going to be able to skate anything else, but I'm going to try. So I love this. I love the plastic shell. I love everything about it. What I want to do next is go back to my old favorite urban skate, the USD Aeon 72. These are my favorite urban skates. They are the only skate that I have that can do big wheels but still do some grinds. The Aeon is my favorite all-in-one boot. If anybody gets back into blading, I always recommend the Aeon 60. I think the Aeon 60, for the price and for the amount of hassle that you have to go through to set them up, is the perfect skate for the back to bladers. If you're looking to get back into skating, and if you're watching this video from it showed up in your feed or something like that, get the Aeon 60s. Don't listen to any more of this. Pick up the credit card, order yourself some Aeon 60s, the 60s basics, like $230. Perfect for you. The Aeons are a great skate. They have a really nice wide sole. They have a good groove. And they're a completely flat skate. So you can still do your groove tricks. You could still do your royales and your torques and stuff like that. These are the 72 mil model. And what makes that an important designation is that not only is the 72 mil wheels big, but because it's the Aeon, it's low. So this skate is almost the same height as any standard 60 millimeter frame that you would get on a UFS boot. Do I have something to compare it to? I might. Let's see. What do I have that's good? I guess I could use these Salomons since I won't be skating them. So these are the Salomon ST1s. They are a 56 mil wheel, is it? Yeah, 56. And you just see this, the height is very comparable. Very comparable. What you can't see is that the wheels in this Aeon actually go up into the shell a little bit. So the wheels are so low that they go up into the shell. You can't see it. You can't ride this without having a footbed in there because the wheels will rub into your liner. Ask me how I know. This is a really low boot, and for 72 millimeter wheels, I don't think you can get any lower. For me, when I'm doing tricks, when I'm doing wall rides, when I'm doing stair rides, I love having a low center of gravity. The higher you get, the more squirrely I get. I've tried doing those tricks on like 3x100s. Doesn't feel right. Doing airs on 3x100s doesn't feel right. These skates, though, I can skate fast because 72s are good. I can skate hard because I know that these skates are solid. There's no wiggle within this frame. And I can do a lot of the tricks that I'm accustomed to doing, like soul grinds, Mizu, stuff like that. I could do all of my spin tricks. I can do all of my wall rides and stair rides and things like that. These are a really great skate. So I'm going to jump back on. I'm going to jump back on the Aeon 72. I'm going to skate these. These are the old Compass 72 Durham wheels. They're 85A, super comfortable ride. I'm going to skate these until they die. I love these wheels. I love this setup. It is a shame that I haven't skated it more than a few times. I'm going to change that, and I'm going to take these out this weekend and go explore, probably go explore Raleigh. I haven't gone downtown Raleigh in a long time, and I hope that the pollen is clear so I can hit that curved ledge, if you guys remember. But not just skate the ledge. I want to skate all over the place. I'm not going to sit and grind. I'm going to go skate because I need a break. You know, things are a little weird in the world right now. Getting out there and just skating, that sounds like a really good way to spend Saturday morning. So hope it stays dry. Hope that everybody else goes out and skates. This is the time for big wheels. This is the time to get yourself a big wheel setup and just put your headphones on, put a helmet on, and go skate. So this is my big wheel setup for next week. I might actually swap out the liner. I think the liner was okay. I'm really liking that Rain V3 liner though, so I might put the Rain V3 in here. It's also a V-cut. Let me do that right now and just see, get some feedback from the from the audience. This is the Rain V3. I really like this liner. It is just thin. It is supportive where I need it. It laces up, which I don't know that I really need, but it feels good when it's on there. And take this one off, and I'll show you what it looks like, and let's have a vote. What I like about this is that the I do need to put that little plastic insole in. Good catch. Otherwise, I would have been rubbing. The compass wheels have the little yellow mark, so I do coordinate a little bit with the yellow in the rain liner. I think these look great. What would look even better is probably some black buckles. I'll see if I can find some black buckles. Like get the ratchet buckle maybe from the Zoom. I don't know if it'll fit, but I can try that. Is it screw? Yeah, it's screw. Let me see if I can customize this. That would be fun. Because the one thing that I didn't like about the Aeon is that this plastic, because it's also the frame, can be a little stiff and a little difficult to bend. Like if you want to tie it up tight and get yourself a nice cinched feeling. With a ratchet buckle, though, you'd be able to crank that down and it would feel really good. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to swap those, see if I can get it to work. I will report back. I'm excited about this setup, though. I think it's going to be great. And yeah, this Rain V3 looks really hot in that. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. For aggressive. So if you are a subscriber to the channel, you know that I've been really busy in my backyard. We are on stay-at-home orders, so I am avoiding skate parks. I do have a few ledges that I can go skate, but it has been a little temperamental in the weather lately, so I haven't been going out very much. I was planning on skating my new skates, the USD Carbon Team 2018s. However, I was told, a rumor, that them 909s were going to be here this week. And rather than setting up those carbons to skate for 1 or 2 sessions and then saying, oh, I'm going to put these aside and skate the 909s, which I already have on order, which are coming and I'll share as soon as I get them. Instead of skating the carbons and then jumping ship to the 909s, I wanted to make sure that I gave the carbons a full test. You know, I usually like to skate my skates for about a month, which is about 4 sessions. I like to do some street, I like to do some mini, I like to do some transition, I like to do a little bit of everything and get a really good feel for what those skates are before I can make a review. And I didn't have time to do that because I knew that the 909s were going to be here soon, and I'm dying to try the 909s. There's no immediacy to try the carbons, but the 909s are a new skate. I've never tried an Intuition liner, and it's a brand new boot. So, and I know that I like the sole plate. So 3 reasons why I was really interested in the 909s. I heard that they were going to be here, so I said, I'm just going to wait. So I waited. They are actually going to be here next week. I think they're coming into John's warehouse this week, assuming everything goes smoothly. And they'll be here next week. So this weekend, I'm going to skate some big wheels. I also have been busy in my backyard building a mini ramp. Super happy with the way that it came out. I'm really thankful that everybody was giving some great encouragement, I guess, in the comments on the videos. It is a dream of a lot of us, I think, to have a mini ramp. And while my mini ramp is only 12 feet wide, it's like 3 feet tall, it is a dinky little mini ramp. It is the perfect mini ramp for me during this stay-at-home period. I'm having a hard time seeing how I'm going to hurt myself too bad on it. I've been learning topside, top sole. It's crazy. I haven't posted any videos yet, but I'm actually learning topside tricks. So although I don't know that my skills in this mini ramp will transition to a big mini ramp like the one at the factory or at Cloud9 in Woodward, I know that the muscle memory that I get learning these tricks will transfer, and the strength that I get on my topside foot and the feeling that I get floating up to the coping, all of that will transfer. The timing will be a little different, but I know that I'm going to be a better skater at transitions and mini ramp after skating this mini ramp as often as I do. I skate this thing almost every other day, and I've skated it like 5 times since I built it, which was a week ago. So super excited about that. The skates that I am skating back there should come as no surprise to anyone. Old, reliable, my USD 7s. These things are bulletproof. They are the baseline for everything that I skate. Get over here. These are the baseline for everything that I skate. And I absolutely love these skates still. They're just the perfect skate for me. It is a hard shell boot. If you aren't familiar with the USD 7, it is a hard shell boot. No frills, no nothing. It laces up. There's a buckle at the top. It comes with a MyFit liner, which is a really nice beefy liner. It's got a internal shock absorber with a flat sole. So when you're skating it, you don't get that forward lean feeling like you're leaning forward. You get more of a laid back feeling. That shock absorber is adjustable. So you could put in a bigger shock if you want a little bit more forward lean or if you want a little bit more cushion. For me, I like it the way that it is. Nice flat feeling. It comes with a really great sole plate. The sole plate is perfect. Slides really great. Great Royale groove. I put on some Fitty Fitty frames. These are the yellows. Match all of the yellow with the yellow and the yellow. And I'm skating the Stefan 90s, the 60-90 mil wheels with the Fitty Fitty UHMW anti-rockers. And it is a perfect setup for me. If all that I'm doing is skating transition, just skating the mini ramp, I can slap these on, tie them up, pop, put my helmet on, and go skate. And it is a great feeling. And I skate for like 15, 20 minutes. I have a great time. I come in and I have dinner. Or I go in after dinner and the kids are getting ready for bed. I skate for 20 minutes. I come in, give them a kiss, go shower, get my jammies on, and go have a drink. These are perfect for that. So I love these skates still. Again, no surprise that I'm still skating them. These are going to be my mini ramp skates. It's so silly that I have mini ramp skates. These are going to be my mini ramp skates because I don't see myself skating them in the next couple of months. I'm going to put these in a storage locker outside that I have on my back porch. I have my knee pads back there. I usually skate in shorts with knee pads because it's hot right now. It's actually cold today, but it's fairly hot. And these are just going to be my utility skates now. Absolutely love them still, though, and I want to make sure that everybody knows. Still a USD 7 fanboy. I think these are great skates. If they were to come out again, I would definitely swoop up the new model, and I recommend anybody out there who can find them, pick yourself up a pair of skates. If you haven't already skated them, the USD 7, by far the best bottom line $200 skate that you're going to be able to find. It is a perfect skate for everybody if you're not expecting too much. All right, so those are my current setups. I wanted to take a few of your questions. I see a few questions flying in, and I want to go through and see if there's any questions that I can answer. Take a nice drink before, and there you go. All right. Kevin Norris asks, will Compass 5050 make a big wheel frame? That is a great question. I have given it a lot of thought, and I think there is potential someday for Compass to make a big wheel frame. Kevin, I don't know what size wheels you refer to for big wheels. For me, a big wheel is 72 millimeters and up. I think that 65 millimeters are big. But I think that contemporary rollerblading, aggressive blading, 65 is kind of like the biggest wheel that most people would want. Used to be, you'd want like a 58. Like when I started skating, it was 58s. If you look at the old Team Paradise catalogs, like nobody was skating anything bigger than like a 60. Like a 60 was huge. Nowadays, it's like 64, 65 is kind of the big one. You see some people making 68s. I don't know a lot of people that skate 68s. I think 68s are only if you're mixing them with an Element 2. I don't think most people skate a 68 though. I think 65 is as big as you want to get. You look at the new Wish frames, 65s and 58s. That's kind of the big wheel, small wheel balance. So people usually don't ride anything smaller than 58. They don't ride anything bigger than 65. That's kind of the aggressive threshold in my eyes. Granted, people do go down to like 56 and people make 55s, but for the most part, if you look at the wheels that are out there, 57 is pretty popular, but 58 is kind of like the the big area, 58 and 60, and then 65, 64, 65 is like the high end. If you're talking about 72s, I absolutely love 72 mil frames. I've skated a few different ones. I've skated the level 3.1s, which I really liked. I've never skated the big frames, but I've heard that they're really good. I think it's a weird designation between doing aggressive tricks and doing big wheel tricks. I think that big wheel tricks, a lot of where I feel, again, my opinion, it's my show, my opinion, where I feel a lot of big wheel frames miss the mark is that they try to be more aggressive than they should. This is a perfect example. This is a great setup. This is a big wheel frame, but it is also an aggressive frame. I think this is the only way you should put a groove in 72s, unless you're doing 7260s and you're riding a wish frame. This is the right setup. This is the right way to do it. But even with this setup, this H block is so tall. Even with this big sole plate, this H block is so tall that you have to get really low to get boot down on Royale tricks. It isn't worth it. It isn't worth it. I think that if you're riding 72 millimeter wheels, you focus on skating big and fast. You could do a sole plate, but why not make these wheels equidistant? Who cares about groove tricks? Like, I just don't think that it's important. Again, my opinion, you can have yours, but I think if you get up to 72s, I think the UFS frames that are out there, 72 mil free skate frames are cool. And I think that people with 72 mil wheels on an aggressive skate, you don't need much of a 45-degree strap for a 72 mil UFS frame to still have fun. As soon as you start getting bigger, like if you're walking around with, I don't know, I've seen plenty of pictures of people with REMs skating like those ground control 125s. I'm like, dude, that's a rough setup for you right there. 125s are going to be a huge, like walking around in high heels. That's a tough setup to get some stability with. You want low profile if you're doing fast, aggressive boots, especially on a heavy boot like that, REMs. So for me, I think a big wheel frame is inevitable. I think that Compass would make it, not 50-50. For me, I love the idea of a flat 72. Obviously, as I was just talking before, I love the idea of a flat 90. Problem with a flat 90 is there's not a lot of wheels out there. We don't make a flat 90 yet. I would love to make a flat 90, and I think it's in the works, but honestly, it just depends on how well this year goes. I have goals to make some big wheel frames for Compass. I want to do it because I love skating big wheels, and I would love to make a frame like a complete Compass set that you could get 4x80 frame in a complete for $150 or something like that. Mount that on your Majestic 12 or whatever and go have fun. Or a 4x90 frame complete, or a 4x72 frame complete. Like there are ways to make those setups really fun for aggressive skaters, and I think that people with aggressive boots are very hesitant, for whatever reason, they're very hesitant to buy a big wheel boot specific for big wheels, and I don't know why. Like, you're spending $150 on this complete setup with frames and bearings and wheels. Like, drop the extra $50 and get yourself, some Flying Eagles or some Imperials or something like that. Like, you can get some really good free skates for, $200, and they're going to be amazing compared to your UFS boots with a UFS, aluminum frame with your 80 millimeter wheels or whatever. So in saying that, I do think there is a way to do it. I think it needs to be cheap. If you look at the Trimax, that was a good example. I think the Trimax nailed it. I think complete, they're like $120 or something out the door. It's an amazing price. And I think you can get them for $60 with no wheels. Again, I wouldn't go 110 if you're skating an aggressive skate. I think that requires a 45-degree strap and a fairly solid boot. I don't think you're going to get that with a lot of aggressive setups. But for somebody who just wants to put some big wheels on and go out and skate with their kids, it sure sucks skating anti-rocker down the street. If you can put, 4x72 on, I think there's a market for that. So nothing to report today. Obviously, this year is going to be pretty busy, and with this whole virus stuff, Lord knows what the year is going to look like. But know that I'm working on it. I hope that I have your support if and when I get there. It will be under the Compass brand for sure, and I hope it'll be something that people want. I don't like making products that don't really scratch an itch, but I know for me, I wouldn't mind having a 4x90 UFS frame, that's for sure. Good question. Walter Hammock asks, how are the USD carbons so far? I already talked about that. I'm sorry. I haven't skated the carbons yet. I will as soon as I am done with the 909s. They kind of got pushed off. I want to make sure that I give them their fair share of time, and I haven't had an opportunity to do that. So there's that. Tim Clark just turned 35 on the 3rd this month, and I haven't had new skates since high school. Thanks to you, I'm getting the Aeon 60s. Hey, what do you know? Happy birthday, Tim. I think the Aeon 60s are great. I am a huge fan. I think if anybody is getting back into blading, that is the right setup for you. I think if you get them and you find the limits, there is a limit to the Aeon 60. The sole isn't going to be super fast, and maybe it doesn't fit you perfectly, and maybe you want to try a different frame. That's cool. Like, you can always sell them. You can always keep them and just kind of keep them around, put just flat 60s in there and just skate around your neighborhood. But it's the perfect starter boot. If you don't know what boots you want, you get the Aeon 60. If you don't know much about UFS or frames, you get the Aeon 60. It's just an easy answer. You can do all of the tricks in Aeon 60s. You can do all of the things that you used to be able to do will feel amazing. Skating feels amazing. They're built strong. You put your foot in, out of the box, and you can go skate. That is huge. And I think you're going to be really happy. Welcome back, and please let us know if you have any questions along the way. Make sure that you participate in the Back to Blading community challenge. We love seeing new bladers get involved. So the blading community this month is doing the Stay at Home challenge. So anything that you can do at your house, whether it's out in front of your house or in your kitchen or in your backyard mini ramp, we want to see a trick. So get those Aeon 60s and go to backtoblading.com/community and check out the teaser. You'll see some people doing P-rails. You could just do a 180 in your kitchen. I don't care. Just have fun and be part of the community. It's a good group. Eric Lopez, any info on a taller Kaiser power slide like the Elements? No, I don't know anything about that. I need more information, so feel free to add another comment. I don't know anything about a taller power slide Kaiser like the Elements. I don't know what that means. The Element 2 is the UFS frame. That's a 6860. That's a pretty tall frame. I wouldn't want anything taller than that if I were skating aggressive. So let me know some more information. The only other thing that I can think of is the Powerslide Flux, the Kaiser Flux, which are those crazy things I'm looking at. They're looking right at me, and I don't like the way they're looking at me. That is a Trinity mount frame, not designed for aggressive, not really designed for anything except for going fast. I think you'll like them, but interesting question. Yeah, give me some more information, please. All right. People talking about carbons. I'm sorry I don't have carbons information. Older bladers, I did get the 44 carbons. They are great. They fit fine, but again, I reserve judgment until I skate them. They feel good on my foot when I put them on at the shop. That doesn't tell much. After they break in, after I skate them for a little bit, that's really where I'll be able to tell, and that's where I do my first impression. The Rems felt great out of the box. And then you can see my first impressions video where I just like start up here and I'm just like everything starts hurting and I start getting these pains and I start saying, oh, I don't know why everybody's complaining. These things feel great. And then it's like, oh, I'm getting this lateral movement. Oh, I'm getting this horrible red pain in my sixth toe. Oh, I can't do topside tricks because it's bleeding. Like, that was the decline of my skating with REMs. And I knew after that it wasn't going to happen. So I have not gone through that process yet with the Carbons. I will. As soon as I get a chance and I can get out there, I will. I reserve judgment until I do, though. All right, let me talk about 50/50 stuff. So, super excited about this. There's a bunch more that just rolled in. Oh, I'll leave it there. Talk a little bit about 50/50 stuff for all of us who know. I'm Lawrence. I brought back 50/50. I was one of the owners of 50/50. I was one of the old employees of 50/50 before I was an owner. And my partner Jess and I built 50/50 into that frame company that you know and loved from the days when I got back into blading. I said, hey, I want to bring the company back. And Jess was like, that's awesome. Go for it. And I did. And now we are 2 years, starting our third year, getting back. It was actually April of 2018 that I made my announcement that I was going to bring back some frame samples, and I was really interested in seeing if anybody would support it. At that time, it was, am I going to bring back this company? No, I'm just going to make a run of frames and see if I can sell them. There's probably other people out there who want them. Was blown away by the response. We sold through our first 300 sets in like a month. And we sold, I brought in an extra 100. We sold through the extra 100 in the next couple of months. It was a huge success for me, very unexpected. And here we are 2 years later, starting our third year. It's crazy to think that it's only been 2 years, right? Think of all the things that you've seen from 50/50 in the last 5 years. Well, that was only 2. So anyway, 2020 was going to be an interesting year. I had a lot planned. So 2019 is when we started our wheel project. And, I had in the back of my head, these are the ways that I see skating going. And this is the way that the balance frame is now. I want to make sure that I can keep the balance frame contemporary so that people who skate now can skate the way that they skate. And I want to make sure that I'm making products that people who are into skating now want, as well as the people who were skating them back in the days. And that was a really difficult box to find. The balance frame is do I have a balance frame? Oh, I should have one, yeah. So the balance frame is a very opinionated frame. It is designed for an older era of skating. It is designed for 55 millimeter wheels. It is designed for people who skated anti-rocker, and if you skated flat, you skated with grind plates. So it's a very different frame than anything else on the market now. It is beefy, it is super low profile, and it is something that I absolutely loved, and I missed it so much, which is why I brought the company back. Because you can't find a frame like this. Might not be for everyone. I'm not saying these are the perfect frames. There's a lot of love towards the Fluid 4s, towards the Featherlight 3s, towards the Sola frames and the Wish frames and the new guys, towards the Caltics that I've never skated, but I think they're great. There's Creates, there's you name it. There's a lot of great frames out there. This is very different. And this is the way that I like to skate. So that's why I brought it back. But it is different. Times have changed, and I had to make sure that I was adjusting with the times. The first thing that we did, we brought back the wheels. We introduced the wheels, I should say. So we came out with wheels that would work well with this frame. It was hard to find a 58 that had a nice profile for skating flat and not getting a ton of wheel bite. I think the closest thing that I was able to find for a 58 was a dead, and the dead profile was really good, but I felt like I could do a little bit better, so I used the face profile as a guide. And I said, I have these face wheels in 60 and they look really good. What if I made them into 58s? So we invested a lot of money, we made our own molds, and we came up with this 58, which I love skating flat. I think this is a really great setup. We were talking a little bit earlier about having wheels that were equidistant. you could get a bigger split out of this. But you wouldn't get the same ride. Like the feeling of having all four wheels the same distance apart is very similar to the Symmetrics, actually. So these are the Symmetrics. I don't know what version they are, but you can see that they could have done a much bigger split. But really, it's about the same gap. They probably have, 10, 20 mil more of a split, but the groove is very similar. And it's also a very tight groove, but it has this little like thumb groove, which is really cool. Helps you in your slot without having to slip out. But people love the feeling that they get skating their Symmetrics because it is that equidistant feeling, because every wheel is the same distance from the other, with a few exceptions, of course. It's close. If you compare that with the Element. So this is the Element 1. And this is very similar to the Aeon 60, where they said, I don't care about UFS, I'm just going to make this frame a little bit taller and have the UFS bolt kind of sit under here. With the Aeon, they said, I don't care about UFS, I'm just going to make the whole boot a frame. The problem with this is with this middle split being so wide, you start getting the feeling of anti-rocker. You lose what people love about skating flat. You have a harder time doing swizzly swizzles if you were trying to skate around transition. And a lot of people love that. This was a really popular frame. People still skate them. People still love them. Frank Stoner loves this frame. But there's something to be said about a plastic frame that has a nice shallow groove with equidistant wheels. And that is what the balance frame was. So over the years, we came up with the black frame, the white frame, the yellow frame. This year, I wanted to do a red frame. I wanted to do a red frame last year, and it was kind of a flip of a coin which one I was going to do first. Felt like the yellow was more of a, this is an amazing color, I want to do a yellow frame because I have fond memories of yellow. And to be honest, I loved my USD 7s. So this was a huge reason why I wanted to do the yellow, because this USD 7 had a lot of yellow in it, and I was like, ooh, what if I could make frames that fit really nicely on my skates that I love? So definitely self-serving. I'm the reason why this is a yellow frame, but it's my company, so I make the rules. Anyway, this year we are coming out with the red frame. And here it is. So this is the red frame on my USD Carbons. This is the new 50/50 frame. Pre-orders are going to start tomorrow. These things are on the ocean. They should be arriving in the US next week. It takes me a week to 2 weeks to get them to my warehouse. So we should be shipping in the first week of May. Realistically, I'll probably get these in the last week of April. What is the 15th today? So realistically, last week of April, maybe first week of May. It's going to ship in early May. Again, thanks for your patience. It's really difficult to predict how long things are going to take right now with shipping. Everything takes a week longer than you anticipate. They're supposed to be landing next week. It takes a week to 2 weeks to get here. That puts us in first week of May. Pre-orders are going to start tomorrow morning. So if you want to pick up a pair of these red frames, red is an interesting color. It's a really popular color. I only brought in 300 of these. So I have 200 that I'm going to put towards the online store, and I have 100 that I'm going to reserve for the shops. So there's only going to be 200 available. We're going to have some pre-order specials over the weekend. Special pricing. I always do a nice deal on clothing and soft goods. We're going to be doing that. You'll get a deal on completes, so you can get a complete setup. We should have some anti-rocker wheels beginning of May as well. The material is there. They're just waiting to get out of stay-at-home orders so that they could finish them up. But I do have more anti-rocker wheels coming. These are the UHMW wheels that we made. So tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, if you're interested, get them early. I don't know how quickly they're going to sell. I'm assuming that they're going to be okay for the whole weekend. But if you really want them, I'm not going to be making these again. So if you want them now, if you want them for the future, pick them up. Make sure that you grab them, hoard them, put them in your closet or whatever, and use them when you can. I have a feeling they're going to sell faster than the yellows. I still have like 40... I have 2 boxes of yellows plus whatever I have in my office. So I have like 50 pair of yellows, and I brought in 300. So 250 pair over a year, that's not bad. I'm looking at about the same amount of this, but I don't know how quickly they're going to sell. Along with the reds, I am bringing out a line of wheels that will look really good with the frames. So these are the 60s. So we came out with a 60 millimeter wheel after we came out with a 59. The 59, as you know, is the one that I came out first. This is the biggest wheel that you could fit in a flat setup riding balance frames. If you want to skate anti-rocker, you can skate 60s because the wheel will hang a little bit over. It won't rub on the little juice block area. And if you want to skate anti-rocker, 60 millimeters are fine. So these are the 60s, the first 60 that we came out with the Stefan Brando. It is a really nice profile. This is the same profile as Stefan's wheel. The only difference is that this is using the 88A formula and Stefan's is using the 90A formula. The 88A formula for me is preferable because I get a little bit more bounce and it's a little bit more forgiving on my knees. Especially if you're skating a hard boot like the carbon shell boot. 88 is probably a really good hardness for you. You'll get a good amount of grip, good amount of wear, but you'll have a lot more cushion when you're skating. These were the 85s. So 85 is even more cushion, more bounce. I don't really recommend 85s if you're skating outdoors or if you're a heavy dude. I think 85 is a really special niche. I know a lot of people love skating them anti-rocker. They are amazing wheels, but they're very specialized. I think 88 is the wheel for most people. If all you need is a set of wheels, 88s are probably the right hardness for most aggressive. And they're coming in 60. We're also coming out with a flat setup. So these are the 58s in 88. So these are the same size profile wheels as these, but these are with the red ring to look nice with the red frames, and they are 58-88. These are really good anti-rocker as well. I skated these anti-rocker, and you'll say a lot about the maneuverability that you get with anti-rocker. I love the feeling that I get skating these anti-rocker. I feel like I can turn faster with these anti-rocker than I can with flat wheels skating flat. Like if I was skating these wheels with this flat profile, skating flat, I feel like I can turn faster skating anti-rocker with this profile. Maybe I can't, maybe it's just in my head, but it sure is comparable. And that means that if you're skating anti-rocker and you're complaining that you're stuck in the train tracks, much, much, much less if you're skating with this profile. 58s are great. Again, they fit on almost every frame out there. You could put them on your Creates, your Solas, your Cultics, your whatevers. So 58-88 as well as 60-88. These will also be available for pre-order tomorrow. The wheels are in, and I should be shipping these next week. Just waiting on some packaging, but I should be able to ship the wheels next week. So if you want to get these wheels, you can start ordering them. I have a bunch of wheels. These are going to last me throughout the year. So feel free to order them now, order them next week, but they will be shipping next week. So if you need wheels, these are good ones to get. Finally, and the thing that I'm super excited about, this is what I was talking about, trying to bring the balance frame into the contemporary time. A lot of people are skating bigger wheels, right? So especially skating anti-rocker, you want to skate a 64 mil wheel, you want to skate a 65 mil wheel. We are making a 65 mil wheel. These are them. So these are the 65 millimeter 90A Fitty Fitty wheels. They are a flat rounded profile. So this is not as rounded as Stefan's wheel. It is fairly rounded though. It is more rounded than something like this. There's no flat on the bottom, but it is not as rounded as one of our 60 millimeter wheels or even the 58s. We're using the harder urethane on this, mostly because I want to get good responsiveness. A 65 mil wheel is pretty big. And the core that we're using for the urethane, where the bearing goes in, we only have one core available to us until we get to the 72. When we get to 72s, do I have a 72? I do. Oh, here we go. Here we go. 72. When we get to a 72, I can use this core. This core is too big for this. So close, but they say that they can't do this core with this size. And that's as big as I can get. So rather than trying to do a soft wheel, which I feel like would feel like putty, like you were just kind of swashing around, we went a little bit harder. So these are 90A. They're the same urethane that we put on Stefan's wheel, which everybody seems to think is amazing urethane. And it is a nice rounded profile, not super rounded, more flat than Stefan's wheel, but it's going to feel great skating any rocker. These are medium frames. So you've always been able to fit a 64, 65 in a large balance frame, even though we never marketed it because we want to make sure that shops don't have to explain things. Like anytime you see an asterisk on a product description, you're like, uh-oh, now what? And I want to make sure that things are easy for shops and easy for skaters getting back into it to pick up the stuff that they need so that they can go out and skate. These 65s have always been able to fit on large balance frames, but medium balance frames, the ones for like the size 9 and below, they would rub. They weren't designed for this. You know, they were designed so that they could fit a 60, 58 millimeter. We could make it fit 60. They weren't designed to fit a 65. So what we did is we modified the mold. We asked them to go in and make some changes to the bottom of the mold, which allows the wheel to stick up beyond the bottom of the frame and pass into the sole plate. It's a very similar way that the Wish frame works. The wheels are a little bit bigger than the frames, which means that these sole plates need to be specific for allowing that to happen. These are a them 908. Now you see why I wanted to wait for the 909s, right? This is the 908. It's going to have the same sole plate on the 909. They fit perfectly. So these are medium fitty wheels, medium fitty frames with a 65 anti-rocker. They fit great. A lot of people have been doing it for a while. You could probably even fit like a 68 if you wanted to. There's so much room under there. And I feel like this is going to make a huge difference. I think people are going to be able to skate faster with 65s. I think they're going to be able to skate longer with 65s, you know? For me, I like to buy the right wheels for the job, and I'll replace wheels pretty quickly. But for a lot of people, they're going to go out and buy a big wheel, biggest wheel that they can fit in the skate, and skate them all the way down until they can't skate them anymore. These wheels will last forever. It's not the best business move, but I feel like it's the right way to do it. These wheels will last forever. You can skate these for as long as you want. And as soon as they wear out, no big deal, you get another set of 4 or whatever. They will be the same price as the 60s and as the 58s. So even though they're costing me a little bit more, they're going to be the same price. And I think people are going to love them. I think a 65 is great. I have never skated 65s anti-rocker. I've never skated these. So I'm really excited to go out and try them. I think it's going to be a really fun feeling. 65 is going to give me a lot of coast that I don't normally get. You know, with a 58, you get quick acceleration, but you also get quick deceleration. With this, I'm not sure that the acceleration is going to be that much different, but I feel like the deceleration is going to be a lot slower. I'll be able to coast a lot further. I will add that these 65s also fit on a bunch of different frames. So you could skate these 65s along with these 58s on the medium Wish frame. And that would be a really nice setup. I don't have my medium Wish, but I'm going to set it up as soon as I get them back and skate them with the 65s and 58s, just because I think that is a really interesting setup. Any wheel bite you might get with the medium Wish frames, because these wheels have a really nice angle, they'll probably be minimized. That's the whole design, the reason why we have that chamfered angle. So it's going to be really good. There are frames out there that fit 65 flat. Where's my 65 flats? Oh, where did they go? Put them somewhere. Uh-oh. Did I lose them? Oh, no. I had them just here. Oh, they're on these Solomons. That's why. I never look at them. Can never find these skates. Every time I look for them. They will fit on Ground Control Mega frames. So these are the same 65 mil wheels. They spin perfectly on the Ground Control Megas. I haven't skated these frames yet. I'm really interested. From everything that I've heard, this is the best flat 65 frame there is. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, but the Symmetrics, I'm sure they're great. As far as I've heard, this is the best 65 flat. It has wheel bite protection. It's got a really good wheelbase. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. So I'm super excited to skate this setup. 65 flat. Oh, it's going to be great. I know that they're designed for 64. They fit these 65s just fine. I don't know why they say 65 or 64. Maybe it's, I don't know what the reason was, but no problems here. They rub fine. So, yeah, super excited. I think it's going to be a really fun year. I'm really curious to see what the response is to the 65 millimeter wheels. I think a lot of people are curious. A lot of people have asked about it. There was a lot of hype around the mushroom blading frames because they did a flat 65. I know a lot of people love the Symmetrics frames that do a flat 65. I know a lot of people love the Mega frames. So I'm really curious to see what 65 feels like. Anti-rocker or flat, doesn't matter to me. Go out there and give them a try. Let me know what you think of the wheels. 65 is a new thing for me, so I'm not sure how they are, but I'm really looking forward to getting your feedback. Couple other points. So we have a new t-shirt. Every time we do a new product, we do a new t-shirt. There will be bundles for the t-shirt. This is the shirt. This shirt is called the Star 25. So as I was saying, Jess and I have been working with 50/50 for many years. Jess started 50/50 with Ted Simpson in 1995. That was 25 years ago. It's crazy to think that it's been 25 years of making grind plates. But the first grind plates, the first Daily Bread ad, was in 1995. Now, granted, we haven't been around for 25 years. But we're going to celebrate because 25 years ago, the company was started. This is a design that pays homage to all of the previous designs that we've done, the most memorable designs. So this actually was this was done by the original artist. So his name is Paul Wright, and you'll see some pictures tomorrow morning when you load up the webpage. You'll see some pictures of Paul delivering the artwork. Paul is a DJ, he's an artist, he's a landscaper, I think now, and he's also a really good friend of Jess. He is, if you remember your history, he is the guy who was on the England clothing ad as the DJ. If you remember that cool looking ad where there was a DJ wearing the England rugby shirt, that's Paul Wright. Paul lives in Laguna Beach, or at least he lived in Laguna Beach. I don't know that he does anymore. Amazing dude. He did all of the classic 50/50 logos. Just about every single one. He did the Balance logo. He did the classic logo, which is the one that we had on our jeans. He did the Tom Fry Fishbrain logo. He did the Totem logo that we didn't really do much with, but it's one of my favorite logos. This is an homage to that. So you can find all of the logos within the Star. Super cool. So I'm super happy to have these. They're going to come in two different colors. They will be, to start, black with white, and then gray with black. We are also putting the 50/50 logo on the back, high shoulder, just like we used to do. So this is black on this one, and then it's white on the black shirt. We are also, and I'm super proud to announce this, we're doing them in women's sizes as well. So I actually got a few comments from ladies who wanted to support the company and wanted to wear blading clothing, but were always stuck wearing black shirts or wearing men's t-shirts. And I said, you know what, that's a solvable problem. I can make a shirt that isn't black, and I can look into getting some women's t-shirts. So we don't have a ton of these, but we are making 3 sizes in each color, small, medium, and large in women's cuts. You can see it's a very different look. The sleeves are shorter. It is designed for women. I mean, it is a Hanes soft style, Gildan soft style women's cut shirt. These are going to be available tomorrow as well. And then when I do some more reorders, I am going to do different colors. And every time from now on, for every t-shirt that I do, I'm committing to doing a run of women's sizes as well. I don't know how big the market is. I know from my YouTube statistics that 90% of people watching my videos are dudes. But hey, out of every 10 shirts I sell, that means that I could sell one to a non-dude, right? So I'm really happy about this. It's called the Star 25. We're going to have some special deals on the website if you buy this with a set of frames. You can also buy it by itself. We do have a sticker of this. It is a full color sticker that will be included with each of the shirts. It's going to be a 2.5 inch sticker, so it's big. You can put it on your helmet. I get those next week. These shirts are in stock now, and I will be shipping them out next week. What else? Oh, for everybody who places an order for frames from the website, I have a freebie while supplies last, because I love you all so much. Just like with the yellow frames, we are doing custom laces. So these are the same laces that I had made for the yellow frames. They are black with red fitty. It is a 2-sided, let me pull them out. I'm not going to undo the whole thing, but let me pull it out so you can see. All right, here's the lace. It is a 2-sided print. So either way you look at it, you'll see the logo. Really cool. These do not fall off. You can see I've been skating those yellow ones for a while, and they are worn but still intact. I will have them on the shop if you want to buy them by themselves, but you'll get them free if you order the frames, if you pre-order the frames. I only brought in a few hundred of them, so I don't have a ton, but I wanted to bring them in because I loved the black with yellow so much. And I think we need to do more silly things like this. Laces are just, they're fun. People usually buy waxed hockey laces. Totally get that. These are not waxed. I can't find a custom waxed laces supplier that does custom printing. So if you want waxed laces, you don't need to get these. You'll get them for free if you pre-order the frames. Feel free to give them to a friend. I think they're going to look good, though. They look great on these Them 908s. With this MyFit Fat Boy liner. I think this is a great setup. I can't wait to put these on some gray 908s. I think that's going to look killer. Or gray 909s. I bet they're going to look good on the Derek Hendersons. I bet they're going to look good on any skate that you can find, especially black skates. It's going to be hot. So anyway, those are free if you pre-order the frames. Again, thank you all so much for the support. Thank you for continuing to support Back to Blading, Compass, 50/50, all of the blading community. It really means a lot. It is why I can continue to do these things. It's not a charity, It's something that I have to be able to pay for so that I can make more product. Everything that I do for 50/50 gets reinvested into the sport, whether that means making more product, sponsoring events, sponsoring team to get places, paying team to endorse the products, flowing product to team so that people can go out and skate and promote skating. I love skating, and I want to continue this cycle of investing and reinvesting to make cooler products and make new products. So your support is appreciated. If you don't need new frames, totally get it. But tell your friends, and yeah, I'm excited about 2020. This virus is not going to stop me. I'm going to continue fighting, and I'm going to continue pushing new products and coming out with new things. So really excited. Thanks again for the support, and I'm going to get some water. All right. So while I was talking, we're doing a giveaway. So again, if you've made it this far, you're like an hour in, we're doing a giveaway. I have 2 sets of wheels here. So these are the new Fitty Fitty wheels. These are the 6088s. These are the 6590s. All of the 50/50 wheels come with aluminum bearing spacers so that you can always ride fast. You don't have to worry about those plastic ones getting squished, or heaven forbid you forget to put your bearing spacers in your bearings and you ride super sluggish and you get some legit wheel bite when it cranks a little bit differently. Anyway, I'm going to be sending these to anywhere in the world. If you are watching this, I'm going to wait a week to pick a winner. But go to the YouTube. If you're listening to this on the podcast, go to the YouTube. Leave a comment if you want these wheels. Leave a comment and tell me which wheels you want. And please tell me what frames. They don't have to be 50/50 frames. Full disclosure, I don't care what frames you're putting them on. Tell me what your setup is that you're going to put these wheels in. And I will pick. It's not going to be random. I want to see some legit setups and see who really needs these. So I'm going to take a look and see who I can get some wheels to. If you win, I will contact you and I will send them out probably in the next week or two as soon as I pick the winner. So say which ones you want, 65s or 60s. Absolutely free wheels anywhere in the world. And just, my way of saying thank you for the support and for watching the show. And I hope you let me know what you think. I really love these wheels. So I hope that you enjoy them. All right. Let me go through a few more comments and see what people are saying. Lady Rockham says, "Can you tell Oliver hello again?" Yes. Hello, Oliver. I hope that everything is okay where you are. Hope you're not going crazy, stuck at home. And I hope that you're all safe. Eric Lopez, the world of common big wheel size. More 80s from Compass in the future. Absolutely. I think the 80s are great. The 80s are a great size. They're one of our more popular sizes right next to the 72s. But I think the 72 leaks into the aggressive side. So that's not really... Again, 72 is a weird size. I think we sell more 72s to aggressive skaters for wish frames than we do to recreational skaters. Aside from my daughter, she rides the 72s, and she loves them, but she doesn't have a lot of experience. 80s are definitely cool. I would love to do some more 80s. I'm leaning towards 90s because that's what I really love. But again, I always make things that I like to skate. And that hasn't done too well, too poorly for me in the past. But we'll see. Nothing to report today. But I do have some plans for new Compass stuff in the coming year. Hopefully, assuming that this virus stuff clears up and we can go out and skate again. Casey Markle, thoughts on Derek Henderson's Pro Skate? Absolutely love it. Well deserved. I think Derek is an amazing dude. I've only met him once at the Blading Cup, but I'm a huge fan. I think he has the right priorities. He's all about his family. He's all about taking care of other skaters. He's a good friend of Chad's. He's a good friend of Matt's. So you can tell that whole Intuition crew, they're really tight, and I love seeing that. They take care of each other. I love what he's doing with S9, doing the Pro Model bearings. It's not going to make a huge difference, right? But if he could put a little bit of money into people's pockets, especially now, I think that's huge. I don't know where I stand on Pro Model bearings, but again, if if they're using the name and if you can support your skater by buying bearings, something that you're already going to buy anyway. As far as I heard, they're quality bearings, so why not do that and then throw a few bucks towards Chad or a few bucks towards Stefan. As far as the skates, they look great. I think they might have a few too many logos, but that's kind of a Razor's thing. The black with the red highlights obviously is a huge interest to me. I think they come with the Rain V2 liner, which is great. I never skated them, but I heard good things. I think the Rain V3 would be too expensive. I love that it's an SL and not a shift. I don't know many people who like the shift. I think that's a bad thing to say. But if you look at people out there skating, everybody's skating the SLs or Colts. I don't see a lot of people skating the shifts anymore. I don't know why. I wasn't a huge fan of the shifts in retrospect. I liked them compared to my SLs, but I don't know that I knew enough. I need to skate them again. I think there's a lot of people who are looking forward to a new SL that isn't blue or that isn't mint. So if they can come out, I know they had the SL black, but if they can come out with a Pro Model SL, I think they're going to sell really well. So again, full respect to Derek. I think it's great. I'm glad that he's finally getting a Pro Skate. And I don't think I'll be purchasing them because I already have a pair of the Navy SLs, which I really like. But I will be recommending them. I don't see any reason why I wouldn't. They seem like a really top quality skate. Danny's Mods, thinking of getting the black frames. What wheels do you recommend for street? I'm assuming that you're speaking of balance frames. If you're skating anti-rocker, definitely get the 6090s. Those are the best frames, best wheels for street. I hear over and over again that these wheels don't wear. I love skating them. Again, I've been skating them in my backyard. Skating them in my backyard on my mini ramp for a long time. I skated these probably a few sessions beforehand. There's really no wear yet. You can see no mold lines, but it's like a 59 now. They're going to last a long time. The 90A formula is really solid. I don't know how they did such a great job with this 90A, but I would recommend that. If you plan on skating flat, we do make a 5890, which is really popular. I have not skated them. It's the same formula as the 6090. So if you're skating anti-rocker, I don't see why you wouldn't skate the 6090s, unless you want a little bit more maneuverability. I think the 6090 is really good for anti, though. 5890 is a popular wheel, though. I sell a lot of them, especially for like solo frames or stuff. I think that's a really good wheel, especially if you're a bigger dude and you don't need a soft wheel. Soft wheel can be a little bit squishy if you're bigger. Yeah, so anything 90 I think would be great if you're planning on skating street. If you're skating mostly skate park and smooth surfaces, again, 88 is the wheel for most people. I think it's going to give you the best performance, the best bounce, and the best comfort for your knees, no matter how big you are. If you're a smaller dude or if you're skating mostly indoor parks, give the 85s a shot. You will not regret it. They are the most comfortable wheel, but they're definitely a very unique wheel. Yandrol, look at you on the chat. Look at you. Did you ask already? Did you delete it? I didn't see your initial question. I want to rephrase my question. I had a question. Summer is coming up and I wanted to get some big wheel skating. I have wide feet. What boots do you recommend? Very good question. First of all, yes. Big wheels are great for summer. I would definitely recommend getting yourself your own skates. Wide feet, that's a hard one. So I have a few big wheel skates. Let me see. So here are two. Looking at them from the top, this is the Flying Eagle F7 and this is the Powerslide Imperial Super Cruiser Pro. They make really long names in big wheels. Looking at these two, it looks like the Flying Eagle is a slightly wider boot. This Flying Eagle was really comfortable. it is a very similar design. Unfortunately, with the free skate, most of the skates kind of end up being the same look and feel. They all have this 165 mount. They all have this little red. This one doesn't because I took out the shock absorber. But there's usually this little red shock absorber in the back. There's usually a crank 45-degree buckle and usually a plastic buckle with a removable liner. That's not a bad thing. I think they've kind of come to a point where they know what makes a really good free skate. If you can find a free skate that looks like this is probably what you want. For me, it looks like this Flying Eagle F7 is a pretty wide boot. Now remember, you can put any liner in any shell. So if you find this to be a little bit too tight, you can always put in an Intuition or a Rain V3 to give yourself a little bit more room. But this looks definitely a little bit wider than this Imperial. Again, I don't have my measuring tool out here, but just eyeballing it, it looks a little bit wider. It's a good question, though. I don't know of any free skates that are good for wide feet specifically. I know what you want to avoid, and those are these Swell. So these are the Powerslide Swell. I don't know that they're a problem with the wide, but they're definitely a problem with the top. These have this like knit sort of shoe feeling up top, which is fine for a lot of people, but some people, especially if you have a fairly large foot or if you have like a chubby toe, you can feel some really bad pain up here. And I hear a lot of people complain that these hurt their feet. I never had a problem skating them. I did have a few problems skating them otherwise. I think that the way that the frame is mounted isn't ideal for me. I prefer something where the frame is like right in the middle. And with this one, you can see that the frame is very much on the inside edge. It's to help when you're skating distance. It's to help with your balance and get a better stride. For me, I'm not good enough to get a good stride. I just want to skate. So I like the wheels to be completely centered under my toe. I think you can adjust it. I don't know that I can adjust it that much, though. That would require a lot of adjustment. So yeah, I would skip the swell. I know that the newer swells have that fixed, so it's a little different. I recommend the Flying Eagle F7. Full disclosure, they did send me these skates. So these are review skates. I did not pay for these skates. I also did not pay for these skates, funny enough. For whatever reason, free skates are easier to get for review. I did not pay for these skates. I did not pay for these skates. Of these two skates, this is the skate that I would recommend. Take it with a grain of salt, though. I didn't pay for either of them. If I were buying a dedicated tri-skate or big wheel setup, I would probably buy the Flying Eagle this time around. And the main reason is I just had a really good comfort feeling with this. It was a really good ride. I don't have a very specific reason for it, and I don't know if it's wide foot or not, but it felt really good on my foot. It's a great question. I'll see if I can get some more information about that. I don't know of any wide feet boots. The Next might be your best bet, the Powerslide Next. I don't have a pair, but I don't know what the sizing is like. I've heard that the sizing is a little funky, though. ZZZ Zimmers, your YouTube page has actually inspired me to start a blog for my record label. That's awesome. Great news. I hope your blog takes off. Remember, most important thing about starting anything is it's going to suck, and then it's going to suck a little bit less, and then after 100 times doing it, you're going to get good at it. And while you suck, nobody's going to watch, nobody's going to want to read, nobody's going to want to do anything. Just got to push through. You got to figure out how to make good content, and it takes a lot of work. So good luck with the blog. I hope you stick with it. And even if nobody reads it, just keep writing, keep doing things. And the comments are not loading. All right, I think I just missed a lot. Oh, I got a super chat from Aphex. Thank you, Aphex. Can you buy inline figure skates for testing? That's an interesting question. So they do make inline figure skates. They are. I don't have anything that's comparable. Not at all. Maybe let's compare these kind of. So these are the Seba CJs with a ground control frame. Figure skates. So figure skates, typically, my mom was a figure skater. I'm a hockey player, but my mom was a figure skater. And typically a figure skate would have like a blade that goes out like this, and then in the front is kind of like a toe pick sort of thing. There is a radius, so it's not a perfectly flat blade, but it's a very broad radius. So you're able to get, like in that front radius, you're able to do your pivot point where you do your spins and stuff. Actually, I don't know that he's on, but take a look at City Blades on YouTube. My good friend Drew and Brock, two good friends, it's not one person, they do a channel where they have experimented with figure skates. Brock is, world-class figure skater. He lives in Denver. We actually got to skate in October, and he skates on a rockered setup on compass wheels. So he does 80s and 76s, I think. But he does all the spins, all the twirls, all the pivots and everything that you would expect an ice skater, ice dancer to do with figure skates. Highly recommend that channel. They get into some real geeky stuff talking about it. I'm not a lot of help with figure skates, unfortunately. I don't have any experience there, and I've never tried them. I do know from what I've picked up from their channel that the figure skate rollerblades are pretty bad. Like, they're not really designed with function in mind. They're kind of just like, oh, what if we could make a figure skate that looked like a rollerblade, or a rollerblade that looked like a figure skate? It's not what people want. They want to be able to do figure skating tricks on skates. And I think that Brock and Drew have figured out the best way to do that. I highly recommend their channel. Go to City Blades on the YouTube and find it. They have a lot of great tutorials as well, transitioning figure skaters over to inline skaters. So highly recommend it. Take a look, and thanks for watching. All right, I think I am losing my voice. There are a lot of comments that I can't get to because my computer froze. See if I can do a lightning round. Future black and white frames in the new specs. Yes. As soon as I sell through the black and white frames that I have now, I'm going to reorder. Black and white are two colors that I'm going to try to keep in stock. They will have the new specs. Not only are they adjusted so they'll fit the 65s, they're also skinnier up top, so they'll fit in all skates. So they'll fit in carbons, they'll fit in SLs, they'll fit in all the things that had a very difficult time with the balance frames fitting before. They're skinnier up top, so they'll be able to fit. I don't have an ETA on that. It depends on how quickly I sell out. I will probably be placing an order for the black frames first because I'm getting really low on the black frames. I hope it will be fall. Okay. Casey Markle, are any videos of you skating back in the day? Very, very, very few. I had a VHS camcorder that we went and skated with all the time. My little crew in Alameda, California. We went out and shot footage all the time, but we were not very good. How can I direct you to it? If you go to my name on my name on YouTube, Lawrence Ingram, and you find my channel, my personal channel, there is a video called Skating that is like 2 hours of a raw dump of a VHS tape. That is the first skating video that we have. And you'll see probably 2 years of skating off and on. It is a pretty interesting progression of styles, of skates, of people, of things that we were skating. It's a long watch. I love it because it's me from back in the days, but that's what I would recommend. if you're looking for clips from me. I don't have much because I wasn't really a skater. I loved skating by myself, but we never filmed clips. Like we never had camera people, or whenever I skated with camera people, it was because we went out and skated. I used to skate a lot with Dave Payne, who is a great friend, but he would never shoot. Like he wanted to skate because we just liked skating together. So I don't have a lot of clips of myself back then. That's the best way to do it. I do have a few. I don't know where I put them, but I'll see if I can find a place for them. Thanks for asking. Sean Michelson, did Paul make that Julio Koi logo? Yes, he did. I don't think he made the face logo. I think he made the Koi logo, but not the face logo. I think he made the Koi logo. Pretty sure he made the Koi logo. He made a bunch of them. The guy is an amazing artist, so yeah, he's great. Can you toss up a t-shirt measuring guide on the site? Either link to Gildan's or measure pit to pit. Yes, I can do that. They are all Gildan soft style. They are the best quality t-shirt that I've been able to find that was within a price point that I was able to get so that shops can order them. We do make some amazing t-shirts for blading community, the Bella Canvas ones. The problem is they cost more to make than I can sell to a shop. So these are not going to be that high quality as the blading community ones. They're going to be great. These are the best ones that I found, and I like them. But know that I can't bring in the really expensive t-shirts because I would lose money whenever I sold them to a shop. And I want to make sure that people can represent the community, can represent skating, can have a little fitty-fitty with them whenever they go out. I love wearing skating t-shirts and hats whenever I go to Disney World or whenever I wear a t-shirt out of the house, just because I like to represent blading. And that means that I've got to get them to shops, and that means that I've got to keep the cost down. But I will put up a sizing chart. Thank you for the reminder. If I win, I'll be putting them on my K2 Naturals. Great. You should leave a comment, not in the live chat. Leave a comment in the video, and I will take those and I will consider your application. Will you be trying and reviewing the Them 909s? Yes, I should be getting them next week. I have a pair of grays with the Intuition liners. Sean says, I'd love to test those 65s on the mushroom blading big blocks. My birthday is coming, and I can do a review video. We'll talk, Sean. I still have bad memories of giving you things back in the 90s. Just kidding. All right. I think that's it. I'm about to lose my voice. Okay, I think we're good. If I didn't get to your question, please go and leave a comment in the video. When the video goes, not live, but when the video goes live, we're live now. When the video goes live, leave a comment. Please let me know if I didn't get to your question. I apologize. Leave a comment in there. I'd love to talk to you about it. Wheel contest, remember which ones you want, the 60s or the 65s. Tell me the setup that you want. Leave a comment in there as well, not in the live chat. Leave a comment in there as well so that I know I'm not going to be able to read through this live chat. It moves too fast. We had 80 people on right now, which is amazing. Thank you all for coming and spending an hour and a half with me. I really appreciate it. In closing, I hope everybody's safe. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's family is safe. I know that these are pressing times, difficult times for everybody. We are all in this together. So let's flatten that curve and wash your hands and wear your mask and stay at home if you can. If you can't, thank you for being an essential worker and going out and doing what you can. Hope you are safe. And the community loves you. We all love you. Thanks so much. And we will see you in 2 weeks.